Hey folks, it's your boy DJ Val, and what can I say? It is that time once again to bring somebody back into the Soul Food Gospel Studios who is not just a worship leader, a singer, songwriter, but he's also a friend of Soul Food Gospel. He's a guy that we bumped into many years ago in and around lockdown. I never thought I'd ever be able to speak with him, to be honest. He looked like one of those, when you meet a celebrity and you think, oh, okay, that person's a celebrity, you're never going to meet him, you're never going to see him again. But God's so great that I can introduce to you a personal friend of mine, Mr. Sterling Cool Breeze Roberts. That's the guy I'm going to bring on. But let me tell you a little bit about him, right? This is a man who is dedicated to his craft. He is focused, he is deliberate, he is intentional, and he's on purpose, right? I call him Sterling Cool Breeze Roberts. That's not his name, but that's what I call him. We were joking a little bit beforehand, saying, he said, oh, I sweat when I get nervous. I said, you can't sweat because you are the epitome of Mr. Cool Breeze. So ladies and gentlemen, can I welcome Trinidad and Tobago's favorite son, Mr. Sterling Roberts, to the Soul Food Gospel Show.
Hey, I am humbled, man. Blessed, my brother.
Listen, the blessings and everything else all comes down to the glory of God being revealed in these two men. I can't say two young men because I'm an old geezer, right? But
Oh no, you're not.
across these two brothers, right, who met. Music brought us together, and I believe our brotherly love has kept us together. Amen. Over the years, it's like 5 years, right, since we first came across each other.
5 years it's been, and man, it's been a blessing from since day one.
Bro, that's half a decade, right?
Wow, I didn't think of it like that. Wow, that's something.
That's a long time.
That's something. That is something. And even from lockdown, knowing that in a time where they feel everything was closed off, God opened a door.
That's a whole nother story for, it's a story for today, because we're going to have to talk about that as well. But, as I said, we've kept in touch. I've watched you grow, develop from an emerging artist to an award-winning artist to a music and video producer like nothing else, right? We watch your videos. We're really enthused and enthralled by what you do and just your consistency. I'm going to get you to introduce yourself and tell people a bit about you. But one of the things that I can pretty much guarantee about you, and I try to copy, is your consistency. You are... Have you ever read, there's a Shakespeare book called Julius Caesar? Have you ever read that? There's a bit in there where he goes, Caesar says, I am as constant as the northern star.
Yes.
And that just dropped in my spirit as I was just thinking about your consistency, to be as consistent and constant across different avenues, across different mediums, to keep pushing and driving the gospel. I think for me that is just such a commendable trait, and I do try to copy what you do. There you go, cat's out of the bag. I say, oh, look at he's posted again. I better get out there. Got to post again. I got to do this. I got to do that. Got to try and keep up.
Wow.
But your dedication is second to none. But for those that don't know you, Sterling, please go ahead and introduce yourself formally. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the meat and the bones.
Wow. It's just a blessing. I am Sterling Roberts. They say also known as Cool Breeze, as my brother said.
Cool Breeze. That name is, I'm starting a thing. That name is going to stick, Cool Breeze.
Yeah, Cool Breeze. Also known as Sterling Roberts Music. Have been doing solo, as far as a solo career in gospel music for the past, as my brother said, 5, going on 6 years. It all started in 2019. Where the first song, Most High, came in a dream, actually the year before, 2018. And then God has just been snowballing it from there and been learning how to be not not just seeing, but learning how to be relevant to the times and to what God would want us to do with the music that He's been able to, give to us to steward. And by His grace, international awards came. By His grace, testimonies. By His grace, other doors to minister, from the prison straight up to government and different events. And we've been just learning as we go along. So that's just in a nutshell.
That was a sure big nutshell. I mean, that you've condensed your music career into how many minutes, right? And I know there's definitely a whole lot more that we could really go back and start talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man, you are a child of miracles, right?
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that, so people get a taste of how the Lord's hand has been over your life, man.
Wow. Well, at the age of 8 years old, my family, parents, sister, we knew the hospital like the back of our hand. Everybody has been there except me. And they decided to just do a random check, because if everybody else from immediate family members to extended relatives have been in the hospital and Sterling hasn't, let's just make sure that he doesn't need to be there. Decided to do a test, realized that I, in the body of an 8-year-old boy, had a heart of somebody who would have been over the age of 80.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. And the heart was, it was crazy. And the heart missed beats. It looked deteriorating. And the doctors didn't know what caused it. So they decided to open their cabinet and give me everything, hoping that one would work.
Everything,
They wanted to see if one of these medications would have been the solution to the issue. And actually, it made situations worse. One night, my heart rate went over 144 beats a minute. For those who know, your heartbeat is not supposed to be anywhere around the hundreds. And by the grace of God, my heart didn't explode. To cut a long story short, our second to last visit to the hospital, my mom heard the voice of God saying, it's time to turn to me. The doctors literally confirmed by saying, there's nothing earthly or medical we could do. You will have to go higher.
The doctor said that you have to go higher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Doctor said that. We went to church. Everybody laid hands. Everybody in the kitchen sink laid hands. Yeah. So everybody laid hands and prayed for us and prayed for healing. Some weeks after that, we went back to the same said doctors, and they did every test that they knew concerning my condition. And every result had them dumbfounded, had them mind blown. And they were watching us like something is wrong, but not wrong as in bad. How come the heart of this young boy, which was over the age of 80 some weeks ago, is now actually younger than the young boy?
Wow.
And from since that time till present, I have had no heart issues. So it's really God really regenerating and literally getting back the years.
So, because you definitely don't have any issues, because I watch your videos, you're dancing and jumping, and when you're out there doing your street ministry and evangelism, you're jumping around on the stage. So that's just like, it's awesome. It really is.
It's really a testimony. It's a testimony to the person who literally has my heart in his hand.
It's like he's keeping the beat going, right?
Yeah. I'm telling you, and that's was just the start of this whole journey that we're still, discovering even more and more.
Wow. So musically, you've always been involved and enjoyed music, always been part of music, right?
Well, I grew up with a family who, had music playing in their house, records, vinyl. and you know, I came up listening to all different types and genres of music. So that was something that was really a part of the household. But to say that I was really into music, it really didn't start until somewhere around age of 17, where there was a talent show, and in the age of boy bands and, you know, people with harmonies and stuff, they had these groups of guys who had to do certain songs for their items. And I was in the backstage. I was preparing to dance because I grew up with my dad doing, you know, African dances, and then I entered into hip hop, and that was something of a real. I was like into that a lot. Used to choreograph and everything, and I'm there to do dance, but I'm hearing these guys, and I'm thinking, you know, they could probably fix the harmonies here, such and such. Mind you, not trained anything. I didn't have any training at that point in life, and all of a sudden, I'm just there singing the notes while thinking, you know, "Girl, I promise you." And all of a sudden, people was like, "Wait, you could sing?" And then I was like, "Wait a minute, I can sing." And that's where the discovery started.
Oh my God, I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, you can sing. Yeah, I can sing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So like there, they probably thought you were like holding out on them, right? Like, you know, you could do this
they
all
thought
this
that
time.
I was like, they thought it was something like I was just like a hidden singer, you know, like somebody who's just private where they say, I didn't know. I considered myself a late bloomer. And then all of a sudden, like, I think God utilized that as a discovery point to start filtering me into worship.
So that's how you started kind of like taking that lead role in the worship side of things, by being thrown in
that's
the
where
deep end.
everything started, because it was a discovery of my skill set.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure you sang in the shower, right? You probably be in the shower and singing, you know, like.
To be very honest, I can't remember a day that I probably tried to vocalize anything until that point. I was actually sitting down thinking that it's like, when did this really take place? And I can't remember.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how it started.
That's almost like, you know, God keeping your gift in a hiding place, isn't it? Almost. You see what I did there?
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That was slick. That was slick. I like that. That was slick. That was slick. I'll be adjusting my hat to everything. It's like, oh, look what he's doing. I gotta adjust myself.
There you go. There you go. That's my guy, man. God just kept all of that just hidden and
God has just been doing ready. Wow. That is so amazing, though.
I'll tell you something really funny. I was having a conversation with somebody about this hiding of things. And do you know God hides some things from us so that we don't even know that we have it? There's
a cool
because if you know, then you could potentially, you know, God knows what you do with it, right? But there's some things that He says, I ain't even giving you. I'm not even giving you the download. I'm not sharing it with you. All of a sudden, it's just going to happen, and you're going to go, but Lord, all this time, are you meaning to tell me that this was inside of me, but you've just kept it hidden so it can be perfected and so it can grow? Wow.
That's it. Wow. And even within that hiding place aspect, God could literally, when He allows you, not really allows you, when He's opened that place, that hiding place for you, you get to realize that a lot of God's no's are God's blessings.
Can I say an amen to that?
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of no's that I thought wasn't of God. And I complained about those no's to God.
Yep.
So you imagine that, but then it's God saying no, and then you go, God, you know, this is just an injustice. You know, He's saying it's not an injustice. This is part of my plan. You know.
That's it.
I tell you what, give us an example. Give me an example of a big no that you got, and then we knew it
Oh my
was,
gosh.
yeah.
Where can I begin?
So your whole
I
life has been a
remember.
no, right? No, 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 no.
It has been a consistent, been a plethora of yes and no's,
Yeah.
and knowing that when God gives you no's, it's His
Mm-hmm.
concern.
Yeah.
And I remember, if I were to pick out one, I remember when right after Song Festival, the 11th annual local full gospel song festival, which up to this day friends and family been telling me is like the only thing Sterling didn't win was best female vocalist, because all the other categories, everything else was won. And
Oh, now you messed everything up, you know.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And that was really the case, because I wasn't trained vocally then. Everything
Yeah.
was just raw, God inspired, God given gifts.
Yeah.
And I just entered by hearing what he said, writing the song, approaching it, and ended up winning the song festival. And the no came where the grand prize was to do a full album recording at a particular studio. And the producer, who at the time I was doing the work with, he literally sat me down and had a conversation with me. And he said, Sterling, I do not want to rob you of the opportunity to get better, because you've been given a prize, but vocally, you're not at the place to handle this just yet.
Wow.
And he's like, I so want the best from you, that me letting you go forward without you going through training will actually rob you. And he said he's not going to be able to record me for an album until I end up going to a vocal school. And the thing about it, bro, is this. Many times, even in that situation, many of us would say, we won a major competition. We won 99.9% of the awards.
Yep.
Why not do a full album? But God brought somebody that I could say no. He brought somebody in my life at that time to not commit not just spiritual, but career suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's because of that I ended up in the vocal school and the vocal organization that I went to, which was the Pinnacle of Ruby's vocal ministry, which did a lot of shaping with me, holistically, musically, psychologically, spiritually, vocally. And it made me realize what it is I was starting to do, and made me discover stuff about me. So now, even after those years, I could actually say, and shout out to Cleon Richardson, producer, I could clearly see no, that his no was God's yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And after you finished, did you go back to him after you did your vocal training? Or
I think it had a season. No, we know each other, and we haven't done work from since then, but we have been in connection with each other, where he's actually reached out to me, and he was like, Sterling, he's proud. And that hit me. I was like, after all those years, you're thinking that lives would probably split and go different lanes. I didn't know he was looking on the sidelines. And he reached out to me, and all glory to God for people who he placed in your life to make sure you don't go down another path.
It's so true, and it would have been so easy, right, for him to say, "Yeah, we'll record it," and it would have been so easy for you to have been offended by what was said, right? Like, as you said, I've just wiped the floor, with the opposition. And again, I'm not saying that in a bragging way. I'm just saying,
of course.
cleared,
totally understood what you're saying.
Yeah, you've cleared everything, and then you get to your prize, and the person goes, "Well, actually, I know you won, but you're not there yet."
Right.
And rather than me just do it, and let's take some time, take a step back, and go and really perfect yourself. And that is a sign of maturity as well. Some people would never take that.
Wow.
They just turn around and go,
Wow.
"No, it's not going to happen."
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and, and I'm thankful to that, because I could say I had a level of an ego, because certain things in me was like, what? But I didn't make it too outward. But after the first, second year of training, because I've been with the vocal school for about 7 years. There are different levels to go up, to grow, to master stuff, to learn things, and it's a lifelong lesson. Even
Yeah.
though the school might have like about a 5 to 6 year
Program.
program,
Hmm.
but I've learned so much that I know if I didn't take heed of what he was telling me, I would not probably even been doing what I'm doing right now. I think God puts people like that in your path because he already sees the destiny, and he
Yeah.
wants you to be a good steward of what is to come.
Yeah.
And I'm very humble and grateful for people like that he's placed in my path, and I will never regret that.
Well, the proof of the pudding, they say, is in the eating, my brother. And judging by judging by where we are now and what
Yeah.
you've achieved,
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious it was the right thing to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was. It
Yeah.
was. And it channeled me into pathways. And you
Yeah.
don't even know that some of these paths that even when God told you no, actually has a path that you're going to be directed into, that when you get there, you're like, if I wasn't told that, I would not have gotten here.
Mm.
And you realize where that path is connected to another path
Mm.
that actually saves you the time by trying if you were to try it on your own.
Yeah. 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 Very true. Very, 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 very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true.
You know.
You're a person. I think what intrigues me a lot about you is kind of like there. There are some people who it's all about the music, right? And it's all about the
Mm-hmm.
music. It's all about the music. With you,
Mm-hmm.
I see it's your music journey is your testimony from almost from
Mm-hmm.
the very, very beginning up until now. With we joked about it on the last show that every song was a testimony for where you are in your
Yeah.
life at that moment in
Yeah.
time, right? And I think I
Yeah.
joked about there'll be the Sterling Roberts kind of like play musical, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it
Yeah.
again. It's twice. That's confirmation according to God's word. So that's going to be something that we see that happen. It's going to be a musical with your music. You do the whole
Yeah.
musical with your music.
Wow.
But I think that's really what enthralls me about you, your testimonies and how it relates to your journey and with your struggle with the music. And it's
Mm-hmm.
always the testimony of the voice of God first, and
Yeah.
that almost sets the tone for where you're going and your music direction, as it were, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a lot of ties to, I think God allows me and the team to really go through things to really see a side of him that we would not have seen before.
Yeah.
And then it really resonates with us, because intrinsically we want to be able to bring songs that give glory to God, like worship. We want worship songs with the perspective that he is glorified, and knowing that he allow us to go through situations that make us see this. I was like, what? Like the last song before this new single, Deliverer,
Yeah.
um, was through a season. Was through a season um, that we are still healing up from, and for God now to bring the song in the midst of that, in the midst of loss, tremendous loss, and in the midst of different things that took place with different people, and to start that by saying, Father, Lord, I thank you. The things that you saved me from are countless. I know you'll rescue me out of
Done.
distress.
Done. Yeah.
And that has always been like a staple in us now, to the degree we ended up just ministering it to the point people been sending back videos and crying, even from UK. For it to be #1 from since the first week it came, like what?
I'm telling you, I've got to give huge shout out to my radio partner out there, Dave P of UGN
Oh,
Jams.
yep.
Yeah, man, he's
Yeah.
he's the capo de capo out here when it comes to gospel music and radio as well. And
Wow.
funny enough, your song was playing, I think it was on Monday on his breakfast show as well. So big up
Wow.
Dave, man. Yeah,
Big up, man.
he plays it, Keziah Job as well. So
Yeah.
you get a lot of airplay over here in the UK.
Wow.
That's the truth.
Wow. Wow. I just and that's all God. I'm so thankful for that. Trust me, knowing that I haven't stepped foot in a nation and knowing that God has gone before us, like in the scripture, where he would send his word. He said you don't even have to reach there. He said you just send it word and know that his word proceeded and went. And knowing that it did what it did and testimonies was coming, I was just like, Lord, really thank you for going through these processes and to see how you manifest yourself through the lyrical and spiritual context, sonically, even the music. I'm really thankful for that. I don't ever want to get off of that square. I always want to make sure that the main thing still stays remains the main thing.
I think that was the funniest thing because I think you were shocked really when the chart came out. You thought,
yeah,
but I only just put the
was.
track out. How is that? How does that happen, right?
That I know is like, no, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like it was sent, and next thing you know, we're getting testimonies, and people is like, I needed to hear this. People been sending us testimonies from hospitals, bro.
From hospital? No way, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm trying to keep composure. People have been like sending testimonies, like they were listening. And some people accidentally came on to the song. Like you know what it is to be in a hospital ward and you thinking your situation is like not going to be a turnaround, and then accidentally this song starts to play. Like,
and then
and it's just and to know that if I didn't, and this ties everything back, the no's that you were told put you on a path of God's yes that sends you in a path for somebody else to hear God.
That's the cool breeze right there, baby.
That's the breeze right there.
That's the cool breeze.
That's the breeze right there.
Breeze right there, sir.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Sorry,
wow.
You see, this is the problem with you. You make me go all over the place. I've got a structure I'm supposed to follow, right? It's gone out through the window now, so I'm just like, we're just shooting the breeze anyway. Well, there's a huge shout going out there to Hazel as well. I think Hazel has gone back to Trinidad now, so I think she's in Trinidad.
Okay.
Yeah, Hazel, who used to, she's still my class captain, but she's gone on to do other things. She's in Trinidad. She's doing great work. And I remember she said, they're not interviews. These are God-ordained conversations.
Wow.
And that's how I always feel when I come on with you, because I know that I'm getting some, the truth sets us free, right? That's right. And I get a lot of truth from you, and I just love that. Wow. Let's talk about Hiding Place, all right? We have to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your discography is great. I'm still waiting for a bit more of an upbeat one to come out of the archives as well. I've had some deep contemplation songs, so that's really great. But Hiding Place is a firm favorite. #1 in the UK. How did it do around the rest of the world? And just tell us a bit about the whole how the song came together.
Wow, this was a different pathway. So Hide and Play started like this. Same producer out of Nairobi, Kenya, ZJ, Diro, and PRM Songs. They reached out to me with a track, and they were thinking that I would have been able to do this or be a part of this production. So I took the time listening to it, and at the beginning, I felt like something was on this track, but I didn't have any lyrics, any structure just yet. But I felt heart-wise it was supposed to be something revelation-wise.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there, and my process is that I will worship with the track until I get something. Meaning, that's my way of seeking God. That's my way of seeking Him out to find out what it is that you want to write on this track.
Okay.
So I will be hearing it, feeling the convictions, and I will have it in my headset in the car playing through the system, and I'm just like, and that's me now in my way of like, Father, what you want on this? I worship Him until I waited until I hear something that grips me, that I know, okay, this is like what to start with. So it's like I'm praying, worshiping with the track, and I went to the barber. So
hey, some great things happen at the barber, man.
I'm telling you. And I went to the barber. Shout out to my barber, Gregory, and you'll see why I said that.
Yeah.
And I went to the barber. I'm still going through that internally, just seeking. And I'm taking my time because I don't want to rush anything. I want to make sure that what I hear is what's supposed to be on it. So I'm asking God, what it is you want to be on it. My turn to get the haircut comes about. Sit in the chair. And Gregory and I have a good relationship. He's been my barber for over probably about 15 years. And we've talked music and everything. And I'm sitting in the chair. All of a sudden, internally, I feel this voice saying, ask Gregory what to hear on the track. And I'm on the chair like, ask Gregory? This is internal. Nobody's hearing what's taking place. It's like a little board meeting inside with God. I'm inside and I'm like, ask Gregory. Because it like, I try my best, for people not to see my face, even though it's kind of hard for me. I kind of wear it a lot. So I'm like, ask Gregory. He said, ask Gregory what you hear. Ask Gregory. Ask Gregory what you hear. Him? I know it must be another Gregory you're talking about, but ask Gregory what you hear.
Not this Gregory. Must be one on the way coming into the shop or something, not this guy.
Right. And Gregory wasn't having the best of days as well. Right. So I'm there thinking, God, you serious? You ask Gregory. And this had gone on for about 4 to 5 times. I think on the 5th time, it's just, I asked it one more time. I was like, just to be sure, God, ask Gregory. And I didn't hear a response. Which to me was saying that I've told you about 4 times already. The decision is yours.
How many times do I need to say it right before you get the message?
It's like, because he's like, ask Gregory. Yeah, ask Gregory. And then it's like, okay, you have a choice to make. So I'm sitting there. Hey, Gregory. Gregory, he's like, what? I was like, what do you hear with this track? And I played it from my phone. Gregory, in about 2 seconds, say, I'm not hearing anything. I say, oh, man. I say, I knew it. But by the time I'm saying I knew it, Gregory stops cutting my hair, turns around, opens the drawer, and writes 4 lines, which ends up being the pre-chorus. Kingdoms will rise and fall. You are above them all. You guide my every move. With you, how can I lose? Instinctively, I felt pre-chorus. My brother, in a space of 1 hour, the entire song was written.
Wow.
We were like 2 big dudes just running up and down singing. We put it on the speaker in the
In
in
the
the
barber
barber
shop.
salon, and we were just singing and people was like, because they were customers there.
So is he like, is he musically inclined, Gregory, or?
Here's the thing. Gregory used to write music, like used to write. He's into sound engineering. He's doing that. He's even training as far as that. He had a big part to play even in the mixing, alongside Mark Dingwell, who's the mixing and the mastering engineer. But I feel like God utilized this not only to bring his song out or bring his word out in song, but he also did this to re-energize and rekindle a fire for Gregory to even go back and start writing again.
Wow.
So you understand by listening to that God actually utilized this not only for us to get a song, but for him to do what he could do way before this happened. God is so multifaceted, we can't even figure it out. God was literally telling me, he's like, oh, you thought it was a song I was trying to bring? He said, that's one part of the game. He literally used that to rekindle something in my brother.
Can you imagine that? Can you
You can
just
imagine that? You can imagine that? And the thing too is, he started to write and me and Gregory talking, and I'm like, God, what you doing? And he's like, you don't even know how I'm moving. Like, me telling you to ask Gregory is me seeing if you're willing to unlock another destiny. And that's just one thing out of this whole journey. Hiding Place is now a song that we're getting to learn to be a song that God puts people to understand that he sustains in things that are not sustainable, and also is the place that he brings his people in to realize the downfall of the enemy is imminent.
Wow.
It's crazy. This song made me learn a lot of things. A lot of things, understanding that God could speak through who he wants to speak through, when he wants to speak through, how he desires to speak through. You know, I think that scripture, our God is in the heavens and he does what he pleases, and he utilized us to write that song. But it would have never happened if I didn't listen when he told me to ask him. Gregory brought 4 lines, and before you know it, we wrote an entire song in 1 hour in a barbershop.
Not in a church, right?
Not in a church, but guess what? The church was in the barbershop.
Oh, so how does Gregory feel about the whole, what happened?
Oh man, Gregory is passionate, bro. Gregory is so passionate. Gregory is passionate so much so we had to. He was there for the mixing stage, and I thank God for him and Mark Dingwell. Shout outs to both of them for making sure, because we wanted it sonically to be translated. Because remember, the music is the envelope to carry the message.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that the envelope is of the proper size to carry the weight of what it is.
That's
you know
right,
what I mean?
Man. You don't want it breaking on its delivery, right?
That's it. You understand? And if it's not packaged properly, it won't be delivered
intact.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's the thing we get. I mean, and thank God for all the learning of that we want to make sure sonically it embrace the heart of it, because the sound also has a word.
Hallelujah.
You know, so we have to pay very close attention to even sonically what we translate to the people as artists, because we just think that you just put something together, but it's like an envelope. Like, you're not going to use a normal letter size envelope and put like a thesis inside of it. It's going to look morphed and out of place, and they're
Yeah.
not even going to give it the stamp and the signature, because the stamp really used to say it has been given it has passed the requirements and been given that
Stamp of
yes
approval.
to be sent.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is we want to be able to package so that God could give his stamp of approval so that it could be delivered.
Hmm. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I continually say, you know, that idea of just listening to God in a very difficult situation is a
Mm-hmm.
tough thing to do, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're now in a situation that your obedience, you know, has just unlocked so many different options on here as well,
Mm-hmm.
and your
Yeah.
obedience unlocks something for somebody else, and people don't often see
Wow.
that. They think it's about
Wow.
them. You know, it's like, oh, I've got to be obedient. But in your obedience, your obedience never affect. You can't be obedient and it affects only you. It has to affect somebody else. I don't think there was ever a situation where you say, I'm being obedient and it
Mm-hmm.
only really affects you. It's normally something that affects a wider group of people, or at least one other person, by you being
Yeah.
obedient in that place. But it's reignited this guy's life. And
Mm.
now he's part of the mixing, part of the mastering. It's
Mm-hmm.
reignited the fire in his life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know, that is just an awesome testimony all on its own. So the testimony stops becoming yours, it becomes his now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you, because we talk. I mean, we've butted heads, but that's good. That's friends. That's what happens. You know what I mean? But he's been very passionate about it, because he's like, still, then you don't understand, and he's like talking about, and his pause is raising, and he's like, this has to be translated. And he didn't realize how much his drive and his passion to
Yeah.
make sure that this was done was even inspiring me. And I wasn't giving up, because I mean, we are driven, you know, individually, but
Yeah.
collectively it's like a perfect storm. So
Yeah.
so it's like he's been, you know, driving. It's like, no, I don't think this here. I think this had to, and he knows a lot about, you know, range and different things with sound and where it's supposed to be placed and stuff. And, you know, even with the humility of even Mark Dingwell, when they came together and we've been in the studio just making sure that this translates, it's a beautiful process to see where
Mm.
people who would not settle for less come together, and the different administrations, the different gifts bring out the main thing that we want, is for God to be glorified, and for that message to be
Amen.
something that when people hear that, is
Mm.
like it sends a witness to them that they could walk with. They could be able to now carry that, because the song now doesn't only become ours, it's now
Mm.
everyone's.
Mm. Wow. And you know, I've been flicking, you know, backwards and forwards on the video. So you have a great song. You then need to go
Mm.
through the next step of trying to do a video that conveys that message. So tell us a bit about that process as well.
Well, Hiding Place, it
Mm.
is something that we wanted to convey a people that sang the song, making it known that their place, their sustenance is in the hiding place, that they have to sing it. That's one. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, visually, it has to convey of a journey from one place into the hiding place. You know, like what I remember in the psalm, where it says that he leadeth me besides the still waters, he leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. He's
Mm.
literally leading you from a place into another. It's a transition. Also, it's supposed to showcase that in the midst of all what's been taking place in life, you could literally feel like you're in the valley, but your spiritual position is in the high place.
Come
Like,
on
you
now.
could go through loss and yet still be seated in heavenly places.
Wow.
You can experience heartache and still be at the right hand side of the majesty on high. Um, you could go through stuff that people wondering, are you a believer that you go through this? And yet you're not, you're physically there, but you're present with the Lord. And it's to let people know that the things of this life, it has to translate through the visual, that there's such beauty in the hiding place that you're actually receiving your peace. You're actually seeing all this different tapestry and beauty of the Lord and different perspectives of Him, that when you're led to a particular place in Him, you realize whatever you're in still can't override your place in Him, which actually keeps you grounded and safe and keeps you at peace, where people thinking that you would literally lose your ever-loving mind. And trust me, I've been through that. I've walked through that. I've lost family members. I've known all this, even in the midst of all this song, and God telling me, don't quit. So when that song is placed out, when we wrote that, we realized that people are going through a lot. And thank God for His inspiration that could be able to tell people, like, kingdoms will rise and fall. You are above them all. It's like, you guide my every move. With you, how can I lose? So even when I rise in the morning while I'm yawning, you're my hiding place.
My hiding
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an anthem. It really is an anthem song for this time and this season. And again, all credit to you, because it's hard sometimes to convey these things. But I like your videos, because your videos are very. So people can't, obviously, because we don't want to get strikes from YouTube. So I can't. Back in the good old days, I was a bit, reckless. I just used to play stuff, and then, you never know whether or not the show. Even though I've got you on the show, right? Then now turn around and say, "Oh, detected music from Sterling Wright's music, Sterling Roberts' music. Oh, you wouldn't specify." So he was a guest on the show. He was
a
with me.
guest.
He's my brother, right? It's like
I'm right here.
But just watching the video, I mean, I know the song, but just watching the video just, your videos convey, to some very earthy about what you do, right? It's very connected, very grounded, as well. And I think that kind of like parallels what you do in terms of your own street ministry as well, because I've seen you on the streets. You're out there with the mic, 2 speaker boxes on the streets, and you're ministering, and it's the same fire and the same energy that you're conveying and bringing across to the streets as well. So it's not fake. It's not like, the camera's here, let me, it's the same. It's the same passion, right?
Yeah, same passion. I try my best, and thank God for sounding boards and people around me to make sure that I keep the main thing. For me, this supposed to be as normal as breathing, meaning it's not supposed to feel like, okay, this is still in off the mic, and then this is still in on the mic,
on the mic.
I'm on the mic now. Here's the energy. To me is like, I don't think Jesus was like that. I think Jesus was so in ministry that even when he wasn't ministering, he was ministry. Like, he was just normal. He was just normal. Yeah, like he's like, hey, Zacchaeus, I'll go by your house to you'll sit down and eat something at your house. And he's just at the house. But being who he is, he so embodies that. Being who he is, Zacchaeus starts to confess. He didn't say, hey, Zacchaeus, you're stealing money. It's just like, he just being who he is, it convicted Zacchaeus, and then too, this also challenges us as artists, as ministers of the gospel, however you want to, coin, to be people to understand, like, most of the times they may be aiming for the stage, when really the stage is the pavement. And it really humbles you to reach the man who may be on his way home, probably not wanting to listen to anybody, probably has so much on his mind, different things that they faced. And then bring the glory into the city. And stand up there, and then somebody stops to listen. And next thing you know, whether if you see them again in life or not, you just planted a seed.
You did indeed. You did indeed. You did indeed. Whether you planted a seed, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just being, to me, I just always wanted to be a person that's just real. I don't want to be like, hey, I see you on the corner. I just talk to you like, yeah, what's up? You know. Okay, now Sterling Roberts, hey, no, it's,
No.
I just wanted to be like, this is me. But this is, I wanted to see how like real he is.
Yeah.
Like how real God is. Like God is like a street guy.
Hey, the Bible says, we should be all things to all men, right? So if you see a man on the street, you got to be like him to get to him. There's no point pretending that you're up there and the people that you really need to minister to is really down there. But I love that about you, the honesty, and I think it's the honesty in what you do. And I'm always reflecting back on our other stories and things, and different things have come from not having any money to the Lord opening the doors to getting you the money to do the funding for the things that you need to do. And your whole journey is just really summed up as this faith walk with God, day in and day out. And you're just being really and truly blessed. I want to quickly talk before we round up about the awards. So you since that one, that obviously you won everything except the best female, but since then the Lord has been kind, right? He has opened the doors and blessed you with a few. So just share a few of your awards and stuff like that as well for us, because I think it's important to people to see that that door said no, but these doors that then opened were like huge, right?
Yeah, very. Those doors are huge. Just off the top of my head, I know we won the 2024 S&M Gospel Indie Awards for Best Reggae Song, Rock Solid. Off the top of my head,
another huge track as well. Yeah,
Rock Solid. Rock Solid is our anthem, one of the worship songs that we were even doing worship not too long ago, and God just showed up in the room, and that was. To God be the glory for that. What else? Fortress in the CWA, I think that's the Christian Writers Association out there in Los Angeles. Fortress was number 1 for 7 weeks, right above Toby Mac and Tasha Cobbs.
Wow.
And I was like, what? People message us and still you know about these charts? I was like, what chart? I wasn't aware of it. And only to get messages from them saying, congratulations, Mr. Roberts. Fortress is number 1. Then the following week, it's number 1. Then the following week, it's number 1. And it went on for 7 weeks.
Wow. And that's the number of completion, right?
Yeah, and I'm watching, exactly. Exactly. And I'm watching names like Toby Mac and Tasha Cobbs and Phil Thompson. And I'm like, Lord, what is that song doing there? It was in the charts, but I didn't know it sped past these songs within a space of 2 weeks being in that chart, and then became number 1 for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Deliverer was one of the nomination songs in the Praise Factor Awards last year.
Yes.
We also actually nominated for 2 categories in the Texas Gospel Music Excellence Awards for this year.
There you go.
Yeah,
didn't you win the Antigua and Barbuda? Didn't you win one?
Yeah, we won Best Reggae again, Rock Solid. It was like that was last year, I think, too. Yeah, that was last year. We won that, and I was like, "What?" We were over there actually, and we had to minister in song there, and then Antigua called us back.
Shout out to Apostle Stenshaw Cornelius.
Yeah, shout out to Apostle. Such a blessing.
Yeah, she's a wonderful woman, man.
She's a blessing. She's a blessing. Thank God for her, and thank God for the whole committee. I think it was either last year or year before. And then they went back to Antigua. We came back in
I
4 months,
remember
and
you
then we came
saying
back
it.
again.
Yeah, they asked you to come back again, didn't they? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember. I
yeah,
remember you saying it. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
And I mean, Antigua, God bless you guys. Wow. And that's just a few. There are other awards that we won with Most High was the first one that kicked the doors open.
Yep.
That was like about 3 awards back to back in the Antigua and Barbuda Awards. I think what's his name, Jay Williams, Gospel and Hip Hop Awards. We won Best Dancehall.
Yep.
Yeah, like 2 years ago for Agogea.
That's my
So
track, man. That's the track that introduced me to you. That was the one that introduced me to you. That was it. And I thought, it was so good. I thought, there's the chance of me ever meeting this guy. You know, you just put it out of your mind. You think this is, it's a great dance or reggae track. I thought, I'll play it. I really liked it. I really, really liked it. And then to say I was now going to connect with you, I don't even know how the connection happened. You know, I up until now, it's a bit of a blur, but I just thought to myself, no, I'm not going to meet this guy. You know, it's probably going to be, but food show, part of, I think this might even go out on my wife's show as well, What's on Your Mind, because she's a fan of yours too. So I said to her, I said, oh, Sterling Roberts. Oh, okay, that's nice. So it may well go on her show too. So tell people how they can connect with you across the world. What's the best way to get in contact? And I just want to say, he is a responsive social media personality. If you message him, he is going to respond, and not in hours, normally in minutes. He will respond to your messages. So if you message him on Instagram, Facebook, or WhatsApp, email, he is going to respond. He does not waste any time. So go for it. Tell people how they can connect with you.
Oh, well, everybody, you could feel free to reach us for queries, bookings, questions, concerns at sterlingrobertsmusic@gmail.com.
Did you say concerns?
Yeah, concerns. Sterling Roberts.
All right, okay, for concerns.
You want to find out something, you're not too clear on it. I heard you say something in the interview. Feel free, reach out to us at sterlingrobertsmusic@gmail.com. I'll say it again, sterlingrobertsmusic@gmail.com. On all the social platforms is Sterling Roberts Music. Feel free to check us out. We are on all platforms. The music, that not just only Hiding Place, but all the other songs in the catalog on all digital stores, all streaming stores. You can get it anywhere. Feel free to reach out to us. There are a lot of plans coming up, God willing, as long as he tarries this year. And we're looking forward to seeing what takes place. So feel free to hit us up. We look forward to connecting with you.
Yeah, I look forward to connecting with you as well. I was saying, if there's anybody out there that's looking to bring Sterling over to the UK, man, so he can come and perform live,
that would be awesome.
That would be great. He's toured the Caribbean. I think he's done America a bit as well, but we need to get him over here. So we need to put our heads together, man, somehow, some way, man. It'd be great to have you on the streets of the UK, man.
Man, I would be so mind blown to see you. I will lose it. I will be like, you will think that is a long lost brother that you haven't seen in years.
I'll tell you a quick story. I met up with someone else. I've known this guy from, like, I don't know, even before lockdown, when I was on Ruach Radio. I kind of connect with a guy called Jesse New Diligence. You might have seen him, right? He does the new swag stuff. All this stuff is all of his design and stuff. So when I was in Atlanta for the Praise Factor Awards, I bumped into him for I didn't bump into him, actually. He was, he flew out from Tampa and he came over to see me. So that was just absolutely awesome. So I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. So Mr. Sterling Roberts, thank you so much indeed for taking the time to come out and be part of what we're doing over here at Soul Food Gospel. Really appreciate it. My brother, going to say take